What we're looking at is the stereotypical version of autism. You know, we're talking about buck eyes, top jaw hanging out, the whole hitting your head thing, you know, doing all that. And if you do that, that is, if Robert Downey Jr. was here right now, he said you went full autistic. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. You know, you would think that a movie called Music from an actual musician would be great, especially when it's from a musician called Sia. And Sia, you know, I have to say this about her. I tell you, I love Sia, but for somebody who hates attention, she sure loves being the center of it. She got all them crazy costumes. Here's the funny thing. The whole time she was out there saying, you know what? I don't want to be seen. I don't want anybody to know my face. I don't want any attention. And then she goes dressing up like some goddamn mutant cartoon character and shit. You know, for somebody who doesn't want attention and wearing all the crazy costumes and whatnot, all the, should I say attention grabbing costumes out there. She's also constantly caught up in controversies, man. Especially if you are Shia LaBeouf. You know, old Boofy right here. You know, she was in the controversy first, having him dance around the cage half naked with a little girl. I didn't have a problem with it, but you know, a lot of people did. And like I said, I didn't have a problem with this myself. This is for her video, Elastic Heart.
Oh, that was for a video? I thought that was just something he did on the weekend.
You thought that was a hostage. You thought that was a dungeon that he had right there. No, that was a video. I didn't have a problem with it, but I could have said, if I had seen this, I would have said, you know, Sia, you know, I like it, but I just expect people to say things. And they did. And if that wasn't enough, she said, well, ain't nobody talking about that anymore, so let me just go throw Shia back out there. You know, Shia, man, he duped me into having sex with him. So she stays in controversy with this guy right here.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you didn't hear about this? She says, no. I was duped into, unless I got this wrong, she said I was duped into having sex with Shia LaBeouf, who she says was married at the time. So when that controversy's gone, all right, so we stopped talking about my costumes. We stopped talking about Shia LaBeouf in both cases. Well, I guess I got to do something. Let me go ahead and make this crazy ass movie right here. Maybe that'll get people talking. Or maybe she just meant to make a film, but it still has people talking nonetheless. We're talking about her movie, Music. And with this, before we get into the controversy, I'll just tell you what this is about. So, Music is an autistic girl played by Maddie Ziegler. But when her grandmother dies, she has no family left except for her recovering alcoholic sister, who's played by Kate Hudson. With her going to this person who, for the most part, they're trying to recover, but they're still adjusting, and they're not exactly at the most responsible level in their life. Kate Hudson, that is, her character in this film. So Music is going to have to make some adjustments, and they're not going to be easy, but it's okay. She still has the magical, mystical Negro neighbor next door, played by what's your boy from Hamilton? Odell?
Leslie Odom Jr.
Leslie Odom Jr. right there. And every now and then things get too rough. She still has the fantasy dance number musical sequences that go off in her head. People, that sounds downright heartwarming. All the intentions here, they sound good. What's the problem? Well, I don't know. You know, maybe if you look at the trailer, because you just hear me telling you about it. Maybe if you look at the trailer for yourself, maybe you can see what people are talking about, or maybe not. But I'll tell you what side do we fall on? We'll see after we watch this trailer for Music. There's been different responses. Everybody has a different way of looking at this. So I don't want to act like of course, I'm speaking for myself. I don't know how Martin feels about this. We did not talk about this. And also, let me come in and just say that Sia, huge fan. I remember listening to Sia before I knew her name, before a lot of people knew her name. I was a big fan of Sia when I heard of her through a French electronic band I used to listen to back in the day and still listen to. One of my favorite songs not from her Sia, but just favorite songs that I listen to constantly is Destiny from 07 featuring Sia.
The journey's long.
That is Destiny from 07 featuring Sia. I didn't even know who she was at the time. I absolutely love that song. Had that song on repeat a lot, and finally started hearing about Sia, and I was like, wow, that girl from that band, obscure band I used to listen to, she's blowing up. So I'm 100% behind whatever Sia wants to do, man. 100%. When I heard she was making a movie, because I remember, I forgot about it, but I remember hearing that she was going to be making a film. I was like, that's amazing. I love seeing people expand their talents, man. I'm 100% behind this. Except when I looked at this. I looked at this, and 10 minutes in, I'm like, I said out loud, what the fuck, Sia? Man, this is the white autistic version of radio.
What exactly is wrong with it?
He the same as everybody else, just a little slower than most.
You know, people, this, for me, and this is before I read anything on this movie. This is because it was just sent to us. And Kevin King, our producer, he said, hey, you got this movie music. And I was like, all right, what is that? I'll pull it up. Let me see. And I think, oh, it's that movie from Sia. And I was like, okay, cool, man. I watched this, and I started watching it, and from the get, I was like, what the fuck is this that we're watching right here, man? What, girl, you can't do this right here. You got this all wrong. What we're looking at is the stereotypical version of autism. You know, we're talking about buck eyes, top jaw hanging out, the whole hitting your head thing, you know, doing all that. And if you do that, that is, if Robert Downey Jr. was here right now, he said you went full autistic with this, because this is, we know that there are people out there that have that condition. But the problem is that people who don't understand autism, that's the stereotype that they go to. Just like when people have stereotypes for everything, they exist. But that's, you know, for people who don't understand, they go to those stereotypes. It's just like when people talk about the Millie Challenge and they go like, you know, this, that kind of thing. I looked at this and I was like, I told you this before I saw any controversy about this. I was just saying, I ain't ready to like pick up torches and go against this movie. And there's some things in here that I would definitely compliment in a little while.
It could have possibly sidestepped controversy had she been, you know, maybe a little bit more on the other side of the spectrum. Yeah. But at the same time, just the way it started out was, I don't know, I thought it was soft enough where I was like, okay, this girl has it like that. And it was one of those things where even though I initially went, I was like, well, let's think about it. I've known plenty of people on the spectrum, and I've known actually like a lot of people who have been at the point where she is. So I was like, wow, that's cool. They actually got an autistic girl to do this. And of course, once the music video breaks out and she's not doing it, I was like, oh, okay. But it seems like a lot, but at the same time, I was like, well, you could never get someone who was actually at that point to be in a movie. And they did try. They initially cast somebody and it just didn't work out. The girl couldn't handle it.
When people try to like represent certain conditions, I just have a problem when people go to the extremes or the stereotypes of it, especially when the person's not that. Because what's her name, Maddie Ziegler?
Maddie Ziegler.
Yeah, she's a dancer and she's an actress and she's very talented. Don't get me wrong about that. I'm not trying to blame anybody for what they're doing.
I didn't have a problem with her. I thought she did a good job of switching back and forth.
I didn't have a problem with her. I have a problem with the portrayal. People, like I said, them buck teeth and them bug eyes, and it's when they get into the musical numbers is when it really stood out to me. I was like, all right, man, this is really what you're basing autism on. There are so many spectrums of autism out there where we don't have to go to this level. Just like we show Millie Challenge people from back in the 90s. All of it was just kind of, you know, and the people wanted to get Oscars for that shit. And they wanted to play like, you know, limited language, limited mental skills and vocal skills. And this is jumping that same stereotype. I'm telling you, when they get to that, when it opens up with that musical number, I was like, shit, I'm getting a little hotter than the collar because I don't know we should be going here with this. It was almost like It was almost like, you know what, I want this extreme form of autism because it would make cool dance moves. In a way, at least the way I saw it. I was like,
she only did that with that dance number. It wasn't at least in the dance numbers. It wasn't always like that.
No, she did it later too.
Like,
I saw it. No, she did, because I was like, I was looking at it, I was like, is she gonna do this again? And she did. There was at least one other dance number where she did that.
Okay, but there's tons of dance numbers, and that wasn't always a thing. It's like at that point I was like, all right, maybe this is part of the dance number, because if you're saying this is the girl actually like this is clownish.
Well, my problem is Maddie Ziegler. She says she studied autistic people, and I'm reading this, so I don't know, but she was studying autistic people who were losing their shit and throwing tantrums and were going off, and I was like, all right. My problem is that right now at this moment, This is all the time. This is the version of autistic people that we see. This is the portrayal of autistic people that we see, and it's still limited. And we don't see different versions of autism out there. It always goes to this, and that's a little bit of a problem for me. It always goes to, like, we get into representation. We've been hearing autistic people saying this is not the thing that autism is, and that's when I first saw that. I was like, oh, we going to this level right here. There are so many spectrums of autism, but it seems like this is the one that gets attention. This is the one that's the most dramatic.
There are, like everyone will admit that there are people like this, and I've known people who were worse. I knew a girl who would just do nothing but just stare and drool most of the time, and so this isn't that extreme. And what I'm explaining to you right now is why I didn't get up in arms about this.
Well, then you and I have different things on this, because I just feel like there's still a lot to learn about autism, and just one portrayal out there is not going to help. That's cool. There's one, but
and one of the big complaints is that one of the things when she freaks out, they get on top of her, and it's been like, hey, that is not what you do at all. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, yeah. I accept that. And
like I said, I'm not out to take this movie down. I mean, but I don't agree that this is always the portrayal that we should go to. Y'all know me, man. I'm not I'm whatever you want to call it, social justice warrior, somebody who's easily offended, cancel culture. I'm not any of that shit. You know that. I'm just telling like it is, man. It just seemed like, man, the moment I saw it, here we go again. I'll tell you why. Because the musical numbers in here and the art direction, I thought were great. I love these.
They're amazing.
Sia be great for a musical. I think she'd make a good children's show. I mean, do something like that with these colorful numbers right here and everything. I mean, I don't want to limit you, but something like that. Shit, do the next My Little Pony movie. Shit, you were in My Little Pony at one time.
Something crazy where I see love.
Shit, do the live action version of My Little Pony. The reason why I have a problem with this is because, first of all, the movie itself, minus the autism, it's heavy-handed. There's not enough there for a movie for me, and all that's it's scattershot, man. But it just seemed like I have, you have a good eye for choreography, great eye for art direction. But you know what? I want to make it more important. So let me throw in all these heavy elements. It ain't just the autism. It's like, fuck. There's racism. There's alcoholism. There's child abuse, everything that we need to make a good drama. And that child abuse shit, it's not even that good. It just seems very vain. Even to the point where they have a cameo by Sia in it. And it's an uncomfortable cameo, because it's just like, wow, you didn't even need to be there. It's like the cameras are on you. It's pretty much a character playing Sia. Yeah, I'm more on the side of the people, like I said. Whenever you say you don't like something because of something, that's a social issue, or it seems like it's not right because we want to have a better portrayal of these people, it seems like you're up in arms because, that's what the internet or the media is telling you to do. I'm just saying that I didn't feel like this was we just didn't have to go there. I think there's so many things to explore with autism and autistic people, that this was the easy way. Too easy to the point where, it's slightly offensive for this movie. It just didn't need to go there with that. There's so many other portrayals of autism people that we should get. We've had this over and over and over again.
It's not as rare as you think, and this could have been more extreme. And as far as the controversy, I see it, I acknowledge it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying I can see how it's not as extreme or ways that it could not be that thing. I mean, the movie has its heart in the right place. It's trying to do something. Now, as I can't get on a big bash fest with that. However, I will say that for a movie named Music, about a character named Music, about 10 minutes in, she gets sidelined to just being a prop. And that's what I found egregious.
Yeah.
It's like her and her affliction was just a thing in the way for the Kate Hudson story, which just took over the goddamn movie. And outside of that, the movie was such an embarrassing throwback to 90s indie movies with a whole, we're going to take several unlikely characters and form a friendship / romance with them. Through their different crises, they will come together. And I was like, man, this is so tropey and blatant. It's embarrassing. And I like all the actors in it. Kate Hudson and Leslie Odom Jr. are good. But Leslie Odom Jr., he's a guy from Africa. No even particular country that he's from. He's just African. Well, and he's that, you call him the magical Negro. Yeah, he's kind of there to sort of help them get together. They make it like him and Kate Hudson getting together is like a big prize for him. I'm like, no, she's a alcoholic piece of shit. Why is that a prize for him?
I didn't even think she was a piece of shit, because these movies, people grow, but that's the other thing. It's like everything seemed false in this. That's why I think that the autism here is a stereotype, because everything is a stereotype, as you say. They went the easy way out, except that look, alcoholism, this character is not that bad. Nobody takes it to the level of it as you would, when you're exploring something else that hasn't been explored that much, such as autism. So Kate Hudson, she has a redemption story here. Leslie Odom Jr., but like I said, he's African. Why? Because we just want somebody with an accent to make it special. Right. She's an alcoholic because we need to give her a serious issue. And she's doing, she's played every kind of irresponsible alcoholic on their road to redemption type character in all these movies. Leslie Odom Jr. has played every magical, mystical Negro, fucking fake African in a movie that we've seen before. So yeah, when I look at fucking the character of Music herself, that's what I'm thinking. Like, yeah, you took the lazy way out with that too. But the only thing is, with her, it's just a little more offensive, because that's really an area that we should be kind of exploring more. This movie's lazy all around. It's just like I was saying, man. It seemed like they had something that would have been a cool, lighthearted, fun movie, but they wanted to make it more important. So let's bring in all these fucking issues in here.
No, you're absolutely right about that. It was almost as if it was just planned to be a series of music videos with a something of a story to string it together. Yeah. And somebody thought, well, let's keep developing the story, and then it got away from them, where that became the focus, and the music videos were the side thing. And like I said, it in all of this, Music gets gypped, because I was like, oh yeah, you forget this is about her. She's just a burden. She's just a problem that has to be dealt with.
Well, you know what? That's why I say, if they forget about her, then they just fucking used her as a tool. They don't explain. They don't even go to her story. They just used her for her temper tantrums. They really did use her to go like, in the movie. And I was like, all right, if you're not going to get into a story, if it's about everybody else in this fucking film, that's even more insulting. I see what you're saying. You saw something different, and I respect that. I really do. It could be just me, but the movie is slightly offensive to me, and I hesitate to say that because I don't want to seem like I'm that part of people out there that's always getting fucking offended about something, because I'm not. But I was just like, man, listen, I've seen the complaints with autistic people, and I'm coming from a place where I didn't really understand autism, and I had to hear people tell me. We have people right here on this channel. I'm not going to say their names, but they are constantly educating me about autism. And while I don't think autism is off limits to jokes, I don't think autism is off limit to comedy. I really don't, and that's going to offend some people too. But when you're just using it, man, in a lazy way, fuck, dude, nah, man, that's wrong. That is wrong. It's just do better. Do fucking better. Your heart's probably in the right place, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I think this.
I mean, I feel like her heart was in the right place, but her head wasn't.
Part of me thinks like, man, her heart was in the right place, and she was really trying to do something to bring a heartfelt portrayal of this character. But was it a heartfelt portrayal of this character? No. I think she was into her musical numbers more than this character right here. Well, I'll let you wrap it up, man. What do you think?
It's one of these where, I mean, look, if it's the kind of thing that's going to offend you, then by all means don't even bother. If it's not so offensive, or you're just there for the music video parts, then it's very colorful. I like the production design. Like the closer it got to the end, the last of it happens at the end, I was like, man, fuck you. So it just comes to me as, I don't know, it's a rental, and I'm not even sure if it's even like an enthusiastic rental, but I didn't hate it. Like I said, I saw good things in it.
People, watch this just to make the decision for yourself in case you hear about the controversy. And if you are somewhat taken aback by this, then definitely watch it for that, because you're gonna be like, "Fuck, what the hell you doing, girl?"
I know.
Yeah, what the the moment the movie opened up, she went that musical number, and I they didn't say she was autistic, but the moment I saw her, that's what gets me, man. When you put people, I want to tell you, this is what gets me with autism, because somebody had to tell me about it. When you get them bucked eyes and that top jaw hanging out, that's when I'm like, all right, we're going to a bad place right here. This is probably not going to be good. I don't mind people portraying autism the way it's portrayed on all the spectrums. And definitely people have this level here of autism. Let's not pretend like they don't. But like I said, do black people love fried chicken and watermelon? Do we love to dance? Do we love to do a lot of things? Yeah, we do. But we don't always want to see that portrayal on the screen. I think that's the way autistic people feel.
I totally get that.
Autistic people feel like, why are you always going to the head slap, the jaw slack, and the bug eyes when it comes to our condition? And that's where I get offended. She's only really, her biggest screen time is either when somebody's laying on top of her trying to say, calm down, because she's on the ground, or when she has her musical numbers. At that point, she's used as a fucking tool and a prop. So, lesson learned, hopefully, Sia. I'm not going to go all the way to a fuck you, because I don't know what your intention.
She's already apologized a few times for it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And like I said, I don't want to say, look, you know me, man. I'm not somebody like, man, hang that bitch high. Fuck it. No. It was misguided. It was, I don't know where your heart was, and I'm not going to try to pretend like I do know. But it's a misguided project. And sorry about that. And I really wish it had worked, because I love Sia, man. And it's just, it's offensive, man, in a way. And it's offensive just because it's kind of ignorant. And I'm sorry to say that. I wish I had, the art direction in here is so good. And let me just say this, Sia, people are so mad they probably don't want to hear me say this. She's a good director. Your direction behind the camera, your choice of cinematographer, your art direction here is good. Your direction with actors is very good. Everything is there except for the fucking things that should be, which is proper character representation and in the absence of stereotypes. So for this, I give this a very regretful some old bullshit.
Well, like you, I respect where you're coming from. I get it. I don't have an argument against it.
Well, why are you fucking arguing with me then? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. Much respect here. Much respect, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, much respect, y'all. Oh, so I enjoy actually hearing your difference of opinion, Martin, believe it or not.
Do you? So I think you're going like, oh, God damn it, here we go again.
No, I do, but I respect anyway.